Hello everybody, welcome back to the Nocturnal Gaming Network. My name is Xeriua, and today we are playing Spaceflight Simulator. So today's episode, we are going to be doing a little bit of testing. Let's go straight to the build, and basically, we are going to be continuing with the space station, but before we do that, we need to know a little bit of information here. So my question is, how is an unevenly balanced rocket going to really launch? First off, so what we're going to do, we're going to go to utility, we're going to get a probe core, going to go to basic, put one of these 20-ton fuel tanks. Why? Go away, stupid notifications. Ugh. Alright. There we go. We have a nice balanced rocket here, and we have plenty of thrust. So let's launch this thing, and we're going to watch how it actually flies. So when we lift off, we're going basically straight up, right? We're at 2,000 meters. There's our apoapsis line, and you can see that we are ever so slightly moving to the left here. But, I mean, if we just zoom, we're still pointing straight up. We aren't, like, rotating or anything. And we're just ever so slightly moving. And if we want to be really technical about that, let's turn our speed down so we don't actually make it out of the orbit of Earth here. Oh, we have a moon encounter. Interesting. Where'd it go? Did we lose? Lose our... Oh, there it is. We're out of fuel anyway. Wow, we actually made it out of Earth's sphere of influence here and almost to a Venus intercept. Interesting. That's a lot of power for that little rocket when you go straight up. But, if we go back to our map here, our flight path is, basically straight up and down. We have moved over a little bit, but not enough that it's really going to be worth it. And I mean, when you consider the scale of how far we're actually, going here, it's not that much. And it's basically, what I think it is, it's because as the rocket goes up, the Earth is moving in an orbit around it, and since the rocket's in a different location relative to the Sun, the game's calculating the movement, and, it's adding a little sideways movement into it since we're moving around the circle. So, when we have a nice, evenly balanced and not like dragging rocket, no air resistance, we get a pretty nice trajectory straight up. So next what we're going to do is we're going to ask a second question as well as do another test here. So we're going to go to utility, and we are going to put a couple of solar panels on here, actually a few solar panels. So what I want is primarily the first part of this test is going to be to figure out how tall the solar panels are. And we're going to space them evenly from the center. Then we're going to put, 3 of these solar panels and then 3 of these solar panels. The big ones versus the small ones. Oh no, I can't do this. Well, I actually can. Let's move this over by 1, and then I can get 3 of each of these solar panels. It's not quite evenly spaced, but what we have is a larger area for the atmosphere of Earth to drag on this side than this side. So if we actually do have air resistance on these parts, it should turn to the left. Now, that's the first part of the test. The second part of the test, like I said, we want to figure out how tall these solar panels are in preparation for our next mission where we send solar panels up to the space station. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, all right, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. So we have a 30 block high centerpiece, and 30 should be enough. I don't think the, big solar panels are that long. But let's, before I launch this and get myself, what happened here? Before I launch this and get myself into trouble, what I need to do is rotate this back to right ways up, and I need to put some structure under these other pieces here so this stuff does not fall into the launch pad and explode. Oh boy. Really? Why is this so hard? There we are. There we are. Okay, so now we have the stuff mounted. We have a nice drag surface on either side. So let's launch this rocket. Alright, so the first thing, we're going to raise all of the solar panels because we can. And I know launching a rocket like this isn't necessarily so realistic, but whatever. I don't care. So, the small solar panels, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, I'm going to call it 12 blocks high, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, and let's see about the big ones, almost all the way. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, let's call it 26 blocks high. So when I make my cage to go around these solar panels, I need to make sure that I include 26 spaces in height for these large solar panels, because I'm probably going to use the large ones for the main solar arrays. Now, next part of the test, we're going to throttle our rocket all the way up, and we're just going to launch it. And we're going to see what happens here. Now, I am not touching the, directional thrust at all. I'm not rotating this rocket. When I launch this, it's going to spin around because we are getting drag on the left side, more drag on the left side than on the right side. So see how that's spinning out of control? What we're going to do is we're just going to go and back to build, and we're going to launch it again, this time with the solar panels closed, and we're going to see what happens here. Again, I'm not going to touch either of the two directional buttons. We're just going to launch it. And we're still getting drag. It's still turning this thing over. Very, very interesting. So, drag does matter going up, definitely. And I think if we were to, expand the rocket and build a bigger, more complicated rocket, say let's go back to build, and that's not what I want to do. Let's just clear this, right? What we're going to do is we're going to put thruster, boom. Let's put just the command pod, that's fine. We're actually going to put a couple, boom, of those, and a couple. Let's just put one on this side, and we're going to put 4 things of thrust here. I'm going to make this side aerodynamic. Ooh, that's actually a great idea here. We'll put the aerodynamic on this side, and then we'll just, there we are. So our weight is balanced. Our aerodynamic rocket is not. So it's aerodynamic on one side and non-aerodynamic on the other. Let's actually switch this around, see if we can get it to rotate the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all our thrusters are on, and let's launch. Oh boy, that is loud in my earpiece. Let's turn that volume down. I wonder if perhaps we have too much thrust for it to matter. That's interesting, but it doesn't seem to be rotating here. It actually seems to be going up quite straight. Oh no, it isn't. It's rotating ever so slightly the other way. So maybe it's not aerodynamics, but weight. So the way we're going to do the next test here is we are going to create a rocket. We're going to go back to build, and let's just get rid of this stuff. Probably should have cleared it, but that's okay. We're going to go to our big parts. We're going to put one of these Titan engines. Going to put a decent amount of fuel here. And how about a separator, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can make it turn the other way. I actually want to make it bigger at the top. Let's put one of these. There we go. Yeah, that's about right. That way I can put this separator, and I can put a stack of fuel over here. So we are drastically uneven on our fuel. Now I'm going to go here, and I'm going to put a nice even fairing on this thing. And the fairing should appropriately counteract any of the drag on the rocket. The only thing that's going to matter here should be the weight. We'll see how it goes. Just like that. There we are, nice rocket. Alright, so we're going to no control. My bad. Sorry game. Let's go back to build here. For just 1 second, we need to put a command pod on it, and we're going to center the command pod. Because, you know what? No, we're not. We're going to extend the aerodynamic just a hair more, and we're going to put another, not that one either, this one. Put another one of these, and then we can take this out, put this in, put that back, and there we go. Now we have control. So we will engine on. We're actually just going to go to, let's go to 100% fuel. And we'll launch it. And this one should be rotating to the right. As you can see, it is. So it seems that the game doesn't necessarily take drag from like the solar panels. I mean, I'm sure it does calculate drag, but the more important thing here is going to be the weight and the weight distribution of our items. So in the future, as we are launching not balanced rockets, especially with the solar panel stuff, because the future solar panels are going to be very much unbalanced. They're going to be really long parts, and they're going to be oh, look at that explosion. I feel like this is Kerbal Space Program now. These parts are going to be very long and very narrow, so we're going to have to be careful on the way we balance them as we go, so we don't send the rocket spinning out of control on its way up to the station. And that's it for this video, just a couple of little quick tests. Thank you all so much for watching. My name's Xeriua, and the next time we are together, we will be finally sending the solar panels up to our station. Here we are, what we got so far. So thank you all so much for watching. Have yourselves a wonderful night, everybody.